Hi and hello to everybody who's watching this video. My name is Mike and I have Myasthenia Gravis and I've had it for about 3 years now. I was actually diagnosed in October of 2007. It took me 3 years to actually make a video on this, but after watching Jade from Miami's video and Jen from Michigan's videos, I thought it was my time to make a video here, upload to YouTube, and maybe connect with a few more people who have myasthenia, and I guess finally accept that I really do have MG, and maybe this will kind of be a little therapy for myself, give or take. I guess I can start with go back to, say, September of 2007, slightly before diagnosis, but right when symptoms were coming on. My actual first symptoms with myasthenia were depth perception. It was my first symptom, which I actually was. I'm actually an avid car racer, and was in a autocross race and was having an incredibly difficult time judging my speed, um, my distance between one cone to the next, anywhere on the track, and was obviously frustrated with that. And then a couple, say 3 or 4 days later, I was working out and noticed that I had very little strength in any of my pressing exercises, going from the bench press or tricep extension and whatnot. And of course, more frustration set in, and stress ramps up, and sure enough, the ocular symptoms finally poked through. I had the first symptom was ptosis, a fun friend, and at that point, I guess it was finally time to go see a doctor. So went down to one of our local, I guess you could say, outpatient clinics we have here, and I'm in Morgantown, West Virginia, college town, and met with a doc. And first thing she asked me was, "What drugs am I on?" Looking at my eye like this. You can't have myasthenia. That wouldn't be one of the first things I think of. You must be on drugs because your eye's looking like this. So after pleading with her, telling her that I'm not on drugs, and you better give me a real thorough check and not tell me I'm on drugs, because once you go ahead and test me and find I'm not taking any drugs, I'm going to be quite aggravated. So left there with nothing, pretty much. I don't even think I left with any kind of script. I ended up with her telling me to go see another doctor or stop drugs. I can honestly forget. So I made an appointment actually with, or take that back. I just went into the ER, checked myself actually into the local ER here, and I actually met with a neurologist down in the ER. And guess what again? They asked me what drugs I'm on. So more frustration, more stress. Finally, amazingly enough, the one eyelid actually opened back up. Does it open up this time? Man, double vision. Lights out. So at this point in time, I'm extremely frustrated. All doctors locally think I'm on drugs. So I decided to phone a family friend. He's actually a neuro-ophthalmologist, and I went back home to Philadelphia, where he's located. His name is actually Dr. Moster, and I highly recommend him if you're in the area for the myasthenia, as he was able to give you a working diagnosis with about 5 minutes time. I looked at the eyes right away and made the call, and I guess the official diagnosis was 2 weeks later, after I got the antibody blood work done for the anti-AChR antibody. But he actually sent me home with a working diagnosis and a script for Mestinon, which actually doesn't do much for me. As we all know, MG is a snowflake disease. Some things work for some people, some less, some more. But we all know that our symptoms are completely different. So that's why it's definitely a snowflake disease. But after that, I came back to Morgantown to try to finish that semester in studies, but I actually ended up having to drop out as the symptoms progressed and got worse. I still wasn't on prednisone yet, and at that point, I phoned back to Dr. Moster, and After talking with him, he confirmed diagnosis via the blood work, and we started on the prednisone at 20 milligrams. But before the prednisone could actually take effect, my symptoms got so bad that I couldn't actually even pick up a cup of coffee to drink or take 10 steps without starting to fall over and more stress and everything ramping up. So I decided to end up getting my buddy to drive me back to Philadelphia. Thank you, Wes, for that. And check myself into the hospital back home, Jefferson. And sure enough, they gave me the plasmapheresis, started me on much higher prednisone. I went up from 20 to 60 milligrams of prednisone and had plasmapheresis for 2 weeks on end to try to improve my symptoms. But unfortunately, they only got worse. I went with a catheter in the neck. Ended up leaving the hospital with staphylococcus after I took the catheter out, put it in the petri dish. Sure enough, they gave me staphylococcus. So I got a nice infection now floating through my body, and my MG is all ramped up again. So thank you to Jefferson for that. So I went home and it worked out where I could get home IV antibiotics. They actually sent me home with a PICC line, and I just did the IV antibiotics for the next 2 weeks, and then subsequently followed it up with IVIG therapy. So it's kind of been some sort of cocktail like that ever since then. I had a thymectomy in 2008, summer 2008, and ever since then, everything's been pretty much prednisone, mestinon, and we actually added Cellcept in the fall of '08 to try to taper off prednisone even more. At that point in time, my ocular symptoms had actually come back. They were gone from about April of '08 all the way till about September of '08. We tried lowering from 20 milligrams to 15 milligrams in the prednisone. Bam. It's amazing how just a dose change like that from 20 down to 15 milligrams in the prednisone can bring all sorts of symptoms back. My fingers got weak again. My eyelids started drooping, got double vision, everything, all like that after just 2 days of dropping from 20 milligrams to 15 of prednisone. My symptoms are usually night and day. It's not like I don't usually experience the general fatigue most experience from the MJ. My symptoms are most of a constant sort of type of strength. It's interesting. You know, everybody with MG is different, so it's not really that interesting. But from let's say September of '08 when I got on the Cellcept to about a month ago, my regimen for keeping the MG at bay was kind of the same. It was about 20 milligrams of prednisone, Cellcept, and it was pretty good for a while. It was amazing all the way up till about 2 months ago when I started actually getting ptosis again. We dropped from 20 milligrams to 15 again, and the ptosis started coming back. So I'm going to go on a limb and say Cellcept didn't really do that much for me. And we hit it with some IVIG, went back up to 20 milligrams in prednisone, and sure enough, the eyelid opened back up after a while. But me and my neurologist actually agreed to start tacrolimus instead of the Cellcept now. So we'll see how that goes. It wasn't actually her first choice, her second choice, or 15th choice, but it was my choice after reading a few papers from researchers overseas and doctors from Spain and Japan. If anybody wants those, I posted those on the MGFA website, or I can email them directly to you if you ask. And we'll see how the tacrolimus does. So that's pretty much. Oh, and I'm doing the IVIG right now once a month, 2 days, 2 doses of it, back to back, once a month. So that's my regimen right now for MG in a nutshell. I hope for whoever's still with me even enjoy listening to somebody else tell their story about MG. And I hope to be back with a lot more stories on MG. More of the funny ones that we have. We all have good times with MG. We all have bad times with MG. And it's always great to hear somebody else's stories and how they're doing with MG, and just to hear that somebody else out there has something that exactly what you have. So for now, I'm going to sign off because I think I have to keep this to a certain length to put it on YouTube. So until next time, good day, everybody.